For all of us who have been waiting for it, they have finally announced, Pocketpair and Krafton have finally announced when the Palworld mobile game is going to be coming out, or at the very least, when we're going to get the first trailer for the Palworld mobile game. Now, this is one of the things that I've been kind of talking about in previous videos when people are saying things like, oh, well, Pocketpair is going scared and Pocketpair is going to lose. I keep mentioning like they are partnering with so many people right now, and they are investing so much time, money, and effort into expanding their IP that it's been assigned to me that they're not worried that they're going to lose. They would not be putting money into all these side projects if they thought they were going to lose this lawsuit, if they thought they were going to be shut down, if they thought there's going to be some sort of negative consequence. And one of the things I cite a lot is the fact that they're working with Krafton in order to build a mobile game. Now, this mobile game, the trailer for it is going to be released at the G-Star 2025 convention in South Korea. That convention runs from November 13th to November 16th. Apparently, the first trailer is going to be available at the Krafton table or the Krafton booth on November 13th. And seems like from what they're saying, seems like it's going to give a slightly different vibe. It's effectively going to be a port of Palworld into mobile. One of the good things of it being that they are saying they're not working with a live service model, so there's not going to be an issue of if you can't connect to the internet or if you can't connect to their servers or if they decide they want to shut it down and just be done with it and stop working on it, you won't be able to play it. No. They're not using a live service model. Apparently, supposedly, what they have said so far is that they're not using a live service model, which means you'll be able to just load it onto your phone and play it. I'm wondering what that means for the file size of the game. Because I got to imagine if it's not reaching back to a server, that means it's a lot of it more is going to have to be loaded onto the device itself, which means it might have a fairly large file size. Not 100% sure. They might have accounted for that, but it's supposed to bring over a lot of the gameplay mechanics of the game Palworld that you're seeing in the background right now, with some apparent changes. At least the way that I'm reading it might have some slight changes, and it does say it's a new gameplay experience, but it's supposed to be reminiscent of Palworld. But according to this article, Krafton also mentioned that the mobile game will offer a new gameplay experience through strategic battle, which apparently involves a skill-based system. Now, the immediate thought that I had on that, one, you see right here, there's skills. We have all these things, all the different stats. So I don't think it's referencing that. They have these passive skills and the active skills. The pals have passive skills and active skills. But them saying that it is a new gameplay experience, I'm genuinely wondering if what they mean by it's a strategic battle through a skill-based system means that they might be going turn-based with the battling, which I would laugh my ass off at, because that would just come off as another little bit of them really just poking the bear and poking Nintendo with saying, listen, you also didn't create turn-based battles, and we're going to do it too in our mobile version because screw you guys. I'm not sure if that's what that's mean. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the gameplay trailer. And one of the things I'm wondering is if I am going to be able to log on to, like, this is a server. What I'm playing on right now is a server. Am I going to be able to log on to my server through my phone, or are these going to be two completely separate experiences? I'm not sure. I kind of imagine not, especially since they're doing this new gameplay system and the new mechanics. It would be hard to cross those two over without causing some sort of issue. So I don't think that is what they're going to be going for, but I am looking forward to it, and you can bet when the trailer comes out, I'm going to be doing a video on it. But one of the things I find interesting about the fact that all of this is happening right now is a few days ago, as I'm recording this and as this releases, John Buckley, the communications director and publishing manager for Pocketpair, took a stance against AI, saying if you're big on AI stuff or your game is Web3 or uses NFTs, we're not the right partner. Now, this is for Pocketpair Publishing, essentially, is what they're saying, that if you are a game that is, or a developer that is actively using AI or any of these NFTs or any of these microtransaction type bullshit or Web3, that they are not going to partner with you. That you should find someone else to try to publish your game for you because they don't want to do that. And this is in contradiction to a lot of the comments that were given early on when Pocketpair was first releasing Palworld, and people were making all these comments about like, oh, well, they use AI and they do all this stuff. From my understanding, there was no one like I was not able to find any like actual first person sources for why people believed that they were actively using AI and they were doing all this stuff. I My understanding is it was just something that someone said on Reddit, or like a few people said on Reddit, because of the similarity that people see to the PALs and Pokemon, saying that, oh, well, the reason they look so much like Pokemon is because they were all built by AI. And then the internet just kind of exploded with it and said it as if it was a fact, including I got comments in some of my videos of people trying to say that Pocketpair came out and said that they were using AI when they never have. I've been able to find no sources at all of them saying that they used AI. It was someone online saying that they said they used AI, and then no one bothered to fact check that person, and now people are repeating it like it's fact. One of the comments that Buckley says here in this article, it's an IGN article I'm reading off of, but it was during an interview. I can't just come out and start fighting with these people who make the AI accusations because that just fuels what's going on. And regarding like the translation accusation, because there was one of the accusations was that because they didn't list their translators for the different versions of it, that was because they didn't have translators. They're using AI to do so. But regarding the translation accusation, one of their biggest pieces of quote unquote evidence was that because we hadn't published the individual names of the translators, it must be AI. Well, no, this is just poor Japanese culture in general. A lot of Japanese games, the credits will say localization was handled by a company. Now, one of the reasons I find it interesting that they're speaking out against AI, one, I approve. I have gone on record and say that I am like anti-AI in a lot of ways. I'm fine, like if you want to use AI art or use AI generation for like personal uses, or like you have this going on, or you just want a piece of artwork on your wall, or any sort of personal use, you're making your D&D character using AI, fine, whatever. I don't care. That's sure. Uh, if you use AI art or AI generation to create art and then show it off and say you're an artist, no, you're not. A whole bunch of artists created the tool. A whole bunch of artists and really smart tech guys created the tools that you use and you put an input in. And if you have a problem with my stance about it, go ahead and unsubscribe. I don't give a shit. Leave your hate comments. Help me drive engagement. I don't care. AI art is not art. AI artists are not artists. They did not spend the hundreds of hours that real artists take to master their craft and the sheer level of just work that real artists take to master the crafts. They're just really, really good data entry guys. And I've seen the arguments of people being like, oh, well, you really have to know how to write the prompt. Cool. You're really, really good at data entry. You are a data entry artist. There you go. That's what you can claim. You are not a real artist. But I don't have a problem with people using AI for personal purposes. But once companies start doing it, once people start taking away jobs from these artists that have spent hundreds of hours mastering their crafts, whatever craft it is, because, well, it's just a cheaper option or whatever it is, I have a major problem with that. Because of the fact that that is taking away jobs from real people that have spent their lives dedicated to this craft, because you're more willing to just conglomerate the work of 100 other artists and type in a prompt and get it. That I have a problem with the use of AI art in industry or in money making endeavors. And I'll stand by that. I don't give a shit what any of you guys say in the comments. But one of the things, very proud of them for standing up and saying like, hey, we aren't going to abide by AI art. We're not going to abide by companies trying to publish games using AI art. They even go forward and saying, I think, John Buckley goes forward and says, I think over the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to be getting to this weird era, and you can see it slowly happening now on Steam, of really low-quality AI-made games. It's something that has plagued other stores, but Steam has been good at keeping them out, but it's happening. This wave is coming, and I think we're going to enter this kind of authenticity market where people are going to slowly say, no, these guys are really trying to make something special to fight back. and it is something you're seeing a lot. You saw it with Powland. Powland is shovelware and a little bit of AI slop. It looks like a lot of the models. I posted a previous video about it where a gentleman by the name of Orsted went forward and actually like pulled some of the files from Powland and was able to see that a lot of them were AI generated. The logo for Powland seems to be AI generated. That's the quote unquote Palworld clone that is on the Nintendo Store exclusively. And you're seeing a lot more of that too. You're seeing all these ads coming out like make this game with AI. But one of the things that happens when you don't put love and dedication into mastering a craft, whether that craft is art or music or game design or whatever it is, when you don't put the love and the dedication into mastering that craft, what you were creating doesn't fully understand the nuances of what you're doing, and it doesn't have soul behind it. It doesn't have love behind it. It doesn't have dedication behind it. It doesn't have that hard-won knowledge of how to make this feel right. It is just AI slop. And again, if you want to do it for your own personal purposes, fine, whatever. It's not hurting anyone. But when you're doing it to, one, in this case, almost scam people or flood the market so that the actual people putting in the real work can't even get a foot in the door because there's just so much AI slop in front of them, or you're doing it to put people out of work because you don't want to bother hiring someone and you don't want to bother learning a skill. I have a problem with that. And I truly don't know what I believe. I know what I believe morally and ethically. I don't know what I believe legally the answer to this should be. But one of the reasons I bring that up is because Pocketpair went and put out that statement through John Bucky Buckley a few days ago, and then a day or two after that, Krafton, the people that developed that they went through to develop Palworld Mobile, the mobile version of Palworld, announced that they are going to be an AI first company investing around $70 million, just shy of $70 million into a GPU cluster to serve as basically a AI processing center for them, and that they're going to go forward. I think it was, $21 million annually. It's South Korean company, so one, but the equivalent of $21 million annually is going to be allocated to support employees in the use of AI. But I don't really think that means support employees in the use of AI. I think that means maintain their AI software, because my thought is, or AI systems, my thought of what's going to happen here is a lot of those employees that they're going to support are going to be laid off. They are going to be fired. They're going to be gone. They're going to lose their jobs to this AI, because now it's a lot cheaper, especially the people that are doing the artistic stuff are going to lose their jobs to the AI that is being developed and being supported here, because it's just cheaper. It's going to be cheaper to have this AI system that's handling a lot of the issues that they are paying, trained professionals for, and a lot of those people are going to lose their jobs. Now they're probably still going to keep like a few artists on staff and a few animators on staff to fix the mistakes that the AI makes, and maybe do concept art for the AI to work off of if they're looking for something really specific. But a lot of them are probably going to be fired, and they're probably going to lose a lot of their coders, because the job of their coders is probably not going to like, and this is all speculation, but I imagine the job of like a lot of their coders, a lot of their designers, they're like software designers, is going to stop being writing the code, and is going to start being fixing the mistakes that the AI made. So now they're going to have to go through, their job's going to change, and there's going to be a lot less of them, and it's going to become now QA QC and fixing bugs and whatnot, rather than designing the code themselves. So there's probably going to be a lot of people that spent years and years studying and mastering the craft of game design and of coding, and years in college and a lot of debt, that are also going to be put out of their jobs because this company decides it would rather invest in AI than people. And I think that is shameful. Again, like, I know what I morally ethically believe. I think that is wrong. I think, like, legitimately, I'm looking forward to Palworld Mobile, but I also don't want to support Palworld Mobile now, not because I have a problem with Palworld or Pocketpair, but because I have a problem with Krafton. And I'm wondering how this is going to sour the relationship between the two. Is Pocketpair going to pull their support? Can they contractually pull their support? Do they have something in their contract that says, if you do this, we can cut ties with you? And in that case, what does the contract say? Who owns Palworld Mobile? Does Pocketpair own Palworld Mobile, or does Krafton own Palworld Mobile? Is there like a buyout clause where it's like, okay, cool, now we own this, we have to pay you this much money, but you don't get any say in this? I don't know. And the true answer is, until I know that, I might not get Palworld Mobile. I might not support Palworld Mobile, especially if it costs something, because I don't want to support Krafton that is going to be an AI first company. And I think there should be a level of boycotting Krafton and boycotting the stuff that they've done, because they are going to be 100% laying off people. I would put money on it that they're going to be laying off a lot of their staff in favor of AI, and I think that is disgusting. Uh, and just for all the people out there that want to come up with their thousand excuses for like why AI is okay and why it's fine, and oh, AI just is allowing me to express my creativity in a way that I couldn't before. Practice the skill. One, that's the first thing. One, practice the skill, and you can start expressing your creativity. If you don't know how to do art, practice art. Artists aren't born with the ability to just draw perfectly. I'm sure there's probably a few like savants out there that the first time they picked up a pen or pencil, they were just amazing artists. But I have dated exclusively artists throughout my life, and I've seen them put in the time and put in the work and practice and get better over time. And I've seen them do drawings and do stuff that's just them trying to practice a skill. They want to get eyes right. They want to get hands right. They want to get this right. They want to get that right. And put in the actual effort to practice the skill. And you can too. You might not have all the free time in the world, but you can still take that time to practice and actually learn a skill and learn the art behind the skill and the heart behind the skill. Or you can make excuses and say, well, I'm just going to use AI because I don't want to do that, which is just more telling about you. But also, all those people, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, all those people that are perfectly okay with AI because, oh, well, it's opening up my own personal creativity, my own personal expression. Those are the same people that are going to lose their shit when they lose their job to robots. Whatever that robot is. You work at an Amazon warehouse and all of a sudden they design a robot that can do your job perfectly and you get laid off because you're more expensive. If you're perfectly fine with AI and companies using AI, you don't get to bitch about that. You don't get to complain about that because you were perfectly fine with someone else losing their job that they spent hundreds and hundreds or thousands of hours training themselves for, when you were perfectly fine when they lost that, but now you don't get to bitch when you lose your job to AI. That's all I'm going to say on that. But with that, I'm going to end this video here. If you've reached this far, and if you're pro AI and you have a problem with my stances on AI, feel free to unsubscribe. I truly don't give a shit. But if you reach this far and you're not pissed at me, feel free to leave a like, a comment, a hype, subscribe if you haven't already. Every bit of engagement will help the video do better. If you want to help the channel in a very direct way, sign up for memberships down below. Every dollar for the membership is going to go straight to my editor, reaches such a point that I can afford to hire him on full time, so he can work for me full time. If you want to help me in my fight against Nintendo and patent trolling, please consider donating to the GoFundMe linked in the comments and in the pinned comment and in the description. It's going to help me build out a database of prior art for video game mechanics and for creative expression in general, so that companies can't use those for lawsuits. Companies like indie devs and law firms can use them to fight lawsuits, and hopefully it'll stop these patents that shouldn't have been granted in the first place from being granted in the first place. If you want to help me in a more personal way, click on the playlist over there. That is my storytelling channel. It has a lot of stories, like time from my time in the military or just stuff that's happened in my life, as well as the time I got pepper sprayed, if you're interested in hearing that. And there's something I'm missing. Oh, yes, I just got a chance to interview Kirk Sigmund, the IP lawyer, with a lot of information about how all this different U.S. Patent Office stuff was working. If you want to click on the related video as well for that, that would be great. But with that, I'm sure I'm forgetting to say something. Oh, yeah. I may not be posting a lot of videos next week. If you watch this video, I may not be posting a lot of videos next week. My father is going in for a pretty major surgery, so I promised I would drive up and help take care of him for a few days during the recovery time period. I don't know if I'm going to bring my computer or not, so I might not be able to keep up with up-to-date news and put out videos next week. I'm not sure. But with that, goodbye. Thanks for watching. Fuck Nintendo. And fuck Kraft.